Hello, lovely listeners of the Take It With a Grain of Sand podcast. Welcome to episode 34. And boy, oh boy, of course, we've got a treat for you today. 2 segments. Oh yeah, I forgot to say I'm your host, Mickey P.
And Ricky P.
2 segments, yeah.
yeah, it's a 2 segments. Well,
2 segments and what?
Yeah, just 2 segments. One a rant and one a discussion. Tinfoil hat discussion. But I won't spoil it here.
Yep. So say your thing.
Okay, fine. So without further ado, let's get started with the first segment.
So for this segment, we're going to have a classic segment on Take It With a Grain of Sand. What grinds my gears? Ricky, you got something grinding your gears today?
Oh, yes, I do.
All right.
And it's the fact it has something to do with gaming, and it's something that Mickey and I are, avid gamers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now Mickey, I have a question.
Okay.
So, which gaming media do you prefer, physical or media? Digital?
Call me old school, but I do still prefer a physical game. I like a disc.
Yes.
I don't mind. See, the thing is, I'm not very diversified when it comes to gaming. There's just a few games that I have, and I just keep going back to them, so it's not like it takes up a lot of space. So yeah, I like to put in the disc.
Yeah, I definitely do. I gotta agree with you. Apparently, the gaming media nowadays doesn't, because I've been noticing this for years now, that the physical media is just slowly disappearing in favor of just downloading the game.
Yep, the digital version.
And I just don't really like that. Well, for one, like with Mickey, I like to actually own games. I like really collecting games. I have a gaming shelf right now. It's actually really full. It has a variety of other systems up there. I love the box arts.
Mm-hmm.
The older games, they have these like instruction manuals, and for like if you own like any GTA game, you also get to have the map, which I have fully displayed up on my wall.
You get the map.
That's the perks. It's like that's the perks of actually having physical games.
I also wait. Are we gonna do like a Venn diagram kind of thing? Like a compare and contrast. Okay, so let's list all the benefits of physical games. So then you set the art, and sometimes it comes with additional stuff for the gamer.
Instruction booklet.
What I also like about physical games is then you own property. So once you're done with it, you can sell it if you want to. Like, let's say you're tired of this game, you can sell it for a fraction of what you paid for it, and potentially you can use that money for your next game. I think that's another big benefit of physical. Like, it's basically like renting versus buying almost. Like, in both situations you get to live in a home, but in one of them, when you're done living there, you can sell it and make money. Whereas the other one, when you're done living there, all you can do is leave. Right? I think that's like the physical media, like physical games versus digital.
Well, renting games, they don't really do renting games anymore. Yeah, this is actually really just old school from... Wait, what were you going to say?
Did you fully miss my point?
No, I totally get it.
I
No, I know, I get, no,
I
I
wasn't
get the point.
talking
Like I
about
totally,
renting games. It's like renting a home is the equivalent to buying the digital version.
yes. Well, that was actually the one other point I was going to bring up with about like digital. You don't really own the game, pretty much. It's, it's like the only other benefits I can really see about downloading games is the fact that I don't have to actually leave my home in order to actually get the game. I can just
Yeah.
actually just go on like an official store,
Okay.
or like if you're on like Nintendo Switch, like the eShop,
That is that
it's right
there's
there.
a big benefit for digital over physical.
Yeah,
No
I've
going
done that. I
out,
have like
no waiting in line.
yeah, yeah, I have like two games that I actually download digitally, and that's pretty much it. It's like the only benefit I can really see. I just
There's some more benefits. How about less materials? No plastics. So it's better for the environment.
okay, okay.
That's a
That I mean,
benefit.
there's that.
That's a benefit. Some people
Okay,
care about the environment, and games they have a lot of plastic.
yeah, they do have plastic.
Hmm.
I mean, I guess that is like a really big benefit. But nowadays, with this video game, you've seen it where it's going towards. It looks like it's just going to be like the norm. Right now, digital is an option.
Hmm.
Like you can either you get a game either physical or digital.
Right.
Now it's switching. Now we're preferring to now digital is going to be the only option, and now no one can actually truly own a game because once those servers are gone, you can't really play the games anymore, or even actually really download any like DLC or stuff if the store shuts down.
I also, wait, before you continue with this, I would like to name another benefit of physical over digital. How about jobs and culture? Think about like your local game stores, where people hang out and stuff. The game stores or the big game stops. Everybody knows GameStop.
Yes,
Like,
yes, yeah,
people were working there, and like a lot of those stores are getting closed down. Um, so then there's that too, and like the culture of bringing gamers together is kind of fading away because like why would I go to the store? Like especially like say you're a kid right now, yeah, you're not going to wait for your parents to, like, if your parents willing to buy you a game, then you also have to have them be willing to take you to the store and get it. Like, why would they want to do that? Like, if I was a
yes,
kid today, I would prefer digital games. Like, if I didn't grow up on physical games, I'm sure I would prefer it digitally because I can just take, a gift card that I got and just order it. Someone gave me some money, I can just order this game, and play it
no,
right now. I don't have to wait for anything. I don't have to wait for shipping. I don't have to wait until someone can bring me to the store. I can play it right now. So I can definitely understand if you're like a kid right now and you prefer digital games. It makes a lot of sense, honestly. So I
yeah.
guess that was a benefit for each of them.
Oh
Physical
no.
games bring people together, but then also I get it if you're a kid. Okay, so continue, Ricky.
Here's where the confusion begins. And it's with the newly released Nintendo Switch 2, which,
Mhm.
first off, it's expensive.
Very.
I do own one. And second, the Switch doesn't take discs. Usually it just takes these tiny game cards. And the Switch 2 does have a game card. I'm not now. My explanation is not that good because I remember when I actually watched that Nintendo Direct, I was actually super pissed off about this, and it's the reason why I didn't really buy the system on launch. So now it's becoming this weird hybrid of physical and in digital. Like you have the physical box in the cart, but you had to download the game to the cart. Now, again, I may not have that entire explanation unpacked, but to sum it up, it's basically kind of pointless because like it's you still download the game like you're downloading it digitally.
So let me ask you a question, Ricky. So are you saying that there's nowhere to put in a game in the Switch 2?
Well, yeah, there is a way to put a game in. It's just I'm talking about like the actual mini carts. Like there is a way you could still it's still compatible with like Switch One games. It's just how it operates on Switch Two is like I think it's like some sort of game key pass thing or something. You can actually just pass the game on to someone else. Again,
What?
I'm not really good with explaining that. I know. It's all of it is actually very confusing.
Did you not watch
To actually
Marquez's
think.
video about the Switch 2?
No, I didn't see that video. I owned one.
You bought a Switch 2?
Yes, I have one right here.
Oh, okay, well, that's something you probably should have mentioned.
I did
Okay,
mention that.
so this is more of a review.
No, it's bringing up a point. It's something. It's there. It's a hybrid between physical and digital.
Okay, so what is it? So you if you buy a game, they still send you a box, but it's digital. Is that what you're saying?
No, you buy the game. It's a physical game, but you don't own it because you still have to download it off the Nintendo servers
Okay,
through
so
the
what
game.
okay, so let me make sure I understand what you're trying to say here. So what you're saying is you buy the old-fashioned physical copy of your game, the one that you want, and then when
Yes.
it arrives, you there is a physical piece that you put into the console,
Yes.
and then but then it's not there. You still need to go
Yes.
online in order to download it.
Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting because
Yeah.
I
That's
feel
pretty much it.
like I feel like a digital game should be, I mean, a like a physical game should just be local. It should be locally stored. It shouldn't need servers.
And yeah, right there, that is the biggest issue. And that's what definitely sparked this entire rant. It's like it's now being the incentive of what's the point of buying the physical one, right? Just buy a digital one. And unfortunately, I'm afraid that's just where gaming is heading, and I just don't really like where it's heading towards. Now, I do know about the benefits. You know, now, well, that's the only benefits I can really hear for like most of the kids. But there's another thing. The parents also have to put in money into their account. I guess that's the but I guess that's another simple way than to just actually waste gas to actually drive up towards GameStop.
Yeah, it's the same thing, honestly, because
Yeah.
parents were buying their kids games before. Now it's just cheaper and easier for them to do so. It doesn't take them any time, and then their kids are happy. They don't have to take any time to go down to the GameStop like they used to. Honestly, I think it's easier for parents. Like you're just I can just like
Yeah.
send them like put X amount into their account, you know, and then they can just download it. They don't have to wait. I don't have to take the time. So yeah, it's
Right.
definitely better for parents of younger children.
Yeah. Still. But then there's like another thing. It's called game preservation. You heard of that term?
No.
Game preservation is holding on to a game as long as possible until like the disc, I don't know, stops working or the game card starts working. It's like keeping a game for a very long time. And in the digital world, you can't really keep things forever because, again, once those servers are shut down, you can't play the game anymore. And you don't really physically own it.
You also
It's,
will lose space on your console.
yeah, that's another thing. And unfortunately, that's just the one thing I always praise about gaming, or actually physical media as a whole. You still own it. Like I could really still look at it. I bought it. I own it. Which also goes to the idea of buying and renting. I just, it's just for me. I just kind of really like the concept of owning my games. And no, even if I have to actually really change the games out when I want to play a new one, I would rather do that than to ever really download. Unless if I really have to, I don't really have a choice. Because I guess the next step in gaming would actually be digital only type games. And
I
that
think that
is,
that's coming very soon, where there's
yeah,
not even an option, for
yeah,
sure.
it's coming soon, and
I
it's
think
really bleak.
I think a big signaling of this change is the fact that they like PS5s didn't originally come with a disc slot at all. Like
Yes.
now you have the option to buy one with a disc slot, or you can also add an optional like disc slot like separate thing that you can plug into it and insert discs. But like the fact that Sony made the PlayStations without them kind of tells me like they're headed towards this digital future. And I think that they're just the first of the big gaming manufacturers and console manufacturers that
Yeah.
are doing this. It kind of feels like this kind of feels like when the iPhone 7 came out and it didn't have the headphone jack
Yeah,
and
I do
people
remember
were
that.
like they're freaking out. It was like crazy. But now think about it, like you don't even miss it anymore. It was weird at first and you had to adjust, but how often do you think, man, I wish I had a headphone jack right now?
Well,
You
that's
know,
only.
I feel like it's gonna be like that. Like, and you were a very late adopter of losing the headphone jack, right, Ricky?
Yeah, it was.
You didn't want an iPhone 7 because you weren't ready. And I think that that's where we're at now. Like we're not ready to let go of the physical media and having that the the disc slot or whatever um having that in your console. We're not ready to let that go yet. But
No.
eventually I think we will be. And we're gonna have to.
Yeah,
I
I
don't think
know.
I don't think there's an option. I really don't. I think you just embrace it. Like that's just the only way. If you want to keep being a gamer, it's like you just eventually you just have to embrace what they do with the technology. As
Okay.
much as you want to say, back in my day, we used to go down to the games. And it's really like that. Like I do think about the kids today that won't understand how you and I would go down to the GameStop down the street and pick stuff out,
Yeah,
and
yes.
how the boxes never had the discs in them. You had to go ask for the disc and like waiting in that line and going down there during the holidays and the line would be crazy. You'd be in the GameStop for like half an hour
Yes,
just waiting
yes.
in line. Like, the youth today, they're not even gonna know about that.
No.
And when my kids are old enough to care about, the kids that I don't currently have. So like way in the future, when they're old enough to care about games, they're not even gonna know what GameStop is by then. I don't think. I think that GameStop will be completely like, because we're talking like 10 years from now. I think GameStop will not exist at all. It'll be like Radio Shack. Like it'll
Mm,
be like, what are you talking about? What even was that?
no, I still think GameStop would be a thing, and probably like an online thing.
No, I don't think so at all. Cause like, what are you gonna buy? Any game that you, if even if GameStop sold digital games, no one would buy them because they would have to cost more. Why would I not just buy it directly from like the PlayStation Store, Xbox Store, whatever you use? It'll be cheaper from there than GameStop
Cheaper than
because GameStop would
Amazon?
have to Amazon. Why would Amazon sell digital games?
Oh, good point. Actually, yeah, they actually no, I did hear they do sell digital games.
Well, they probably could, but like, well, Amazon's different. But you were asking about GameStop.
Yeah,
I don't think that it's even worth it for them to try to sell digital games because they would have to mark them up. It would be like going, I don't know if this is a very good analogy. You know how like food always costs more when you order it online?
yeah,
When you go on DoorDash or Uber Eats, it always costs more than if you went to the store. I think it's like that because Uber Eats has to take their profit from it. That's why it has to cost more. It can't be the same as going to the restaurant because then they wouldn't make any money. I think it's like that. Like going on the PlayStation store is like going down to the Burger King yourself versus ordering it through Uber Eats. Or even like ordering Burger King from their app versus ordering it through Uber Eats. Like it's always going to be
yeah,
cheaper going straight to the source. And so I don't think it, like, I really don't think that it makes any sense for this is all like we're really tapping into my business degree here, but this is like less about gaming, more about like economics. But I think that it just wouldn't make any sense for GameStop to even attempt to sell digital games just because
yeah,
they would have to charge more, and for me as the consumer, it's the same level of difficulty going to on the GameStop site to order a game versus going on the PlayStation store to order a game, right? Like neither one is necessarily easier than the other at all. It's like basically the same system, except it's going to be cheaper from the PlayStation store. So why on earth would I go, like there's no benefit to going on GameStop at that point. So I think GameStop is going to be wiped out. I don't know, maybe people, I was just going to say maybe people would still buy like the collectible items. I'm not really into that kind of stuff, but like the
yeah,
toys, the plushies, but like then that's cheaper on Amazon, right?
yeah,
If you
yeah. It
want those little
is.
collectible items. So there's really nothing for GameStop to give us. I don't think that they have anything to offer in this new digital space. I think GameStop is going to be done. I think, there was a time when you would see them everywhere.
Yes, you
Just going down the
do.
street, you might pass two GameStops on the same street. That they were everywhere. They've been dropping off. You don't see them as much as you used to. And I think that here in a few years, GameStop is just going to be a memory.
Yes, it will be.
And I think us old school physical gamers are just going to be the old people,
I don't.
just
I don't.
stuck in the past.
Man, I don't want to be like that, but at the same time, I'm turning into that.
You're
Oh
turning
my
into that. If you
god.
can't embrace the future, you're gonna be like how our father had a flip phone until like 2020.
Oh my god.
You don't want to
Oh
be like that,
god.
little brother.
Look, okay, look, I will give myself probably like a year in order to adapt to the digital world. But like right now, as of right now, the facts still stand. I choose physical over digital. That's my closing argument. That's what really grinds my gears. Just to sum this entire segment up, I am a physical gamer lover, and I am not afraid to admit that. And I'm like 23. I'm not. I'm not in boomer age or unk age. Nope. Young adult.
Mm. I mean, that's all about perspective, little brother. You know, I'm sure when you were like 15, you thought a 23-year-old was old. And you're
Actually,
about to
no.
be 24 too. Like think about like
Yeah.
when you were a teenager, someone in their 20s, that's like you thought of them as like old and mature. So it's all about perspective. Maybe you are the old guy now. And then you're not only are you old, you're talking about loving physical games.
And you just said you
I
love
think the
physical
teenagers
games.
listening to this right now are screaming out, "Okay, boomer."
No, they're probably gonna call me Unk.
I've never heard of. See now I'm showing that I'm old. I don't even
Yes.
know what that means, but we'll have to cover that in another segment.
All right.
All right, so for this segment, um, Ricky, you've got something to share? Maybe a discussion that we can have about AI?
Well, a very scary dystopia world. But before I get started, Mickey, I sent you 3 photos.
Yes, you did.
Okay, so all of these photos are like street interview type photos.
Yeah, I'm sure we've got them. I've put them on the screen right now. They look like a Billy on the street type of thing, like one of
Okay.
the podcasts where they just go up to people and interview them.
Okay, so they all look real, right?
Yeah.
Which one do you believe is an AI generated screenshot?
One of these is an AI generated image.
One of these from from a video, an AI generated video. Which one is
It's only
fake?
one of them. Um, I
It could
think
be.
it's the one of the guy in the white shirt.
Okay. Is the final answer?
Yeah.
What if I were to tell you that all 3 of those images aren't real?
So you've tricked me.
Yeah, I just
That's what
wanted to
you're
see which
telling
one
me.
you thought
My
was
own
AI.
brother has lied.
I mean, look, I didn't really say. I just actually really just said like when this is fake, and I was like, could be.
That's a lie.
but
You said that it was
look,
one of them, so you lied.
let's look. All of them are all screenshots from AI generated videos of street interviews, and this is what I actually want to actually get into. uh from previous episodes, I don't know which season we actually did this, but we actually talked about a discussion about connecting SpongeBob episode to reality with the robot episode of robots are taking over the world. Remember
Mm-hmm.
that?
Yeah.
Now that is becoming a reality. And I had this discussion for months now. Because I've actually delved into the whole AI generated videos, and they've gotten extraordinarily better to the point where now, if you actually be showing screenshots like I just sent to Mickey, you're not going to really tell which one is fake or real. And just before we
Yeah.
even actually went to like recording, I even actually watched some video, and it's like it's scary accurate. And the tool that they use is Google VO3. You ever heard of Google VO3?
No. I've heard of Gemini,
Apparently,
the large language model.
well, that's another thing I need to really get into.
Okay.
VO3 is a video service for Google. You have to pay a large sum of money, and you can actually type up a prompt, and it can actually present the prompt. That's where the screenshots come in. There were street interviews where someone typed up a prompt over what the interviewer would say, what the person who is getting interviewed would say. And at first glance, when you watch these videos, they look real. Like you can actually, you will actually pass this off as someone actually giving an actual street interview, but it's not. And it's like, especially with the street interviews, I was trying to actually watch this over and over again. I was trying to actually find some of the quirks. It's not completely perfect. Like if you actually do look at some of their hands are a little bit glitched up. Their eyes, they don't blink, and like some of them just stay off into space. But in like the most part, it looks realistic. And another instance of why this is scary is that AI is evolving just way too fast. There's another comparison that unfortunately, I don't really have the screenshots right now. I'm probably going to be sending it to her. It's probably be shown on screen. It's going to be two different types of videos. There is this viral Will Smith AI video that was generated probably, I would think, either
The
2 or 3 years
spaghetti
ago.
one?
Yeah, the spaghetti one. And you know how it's obvious AI, like it does not look real at all?
Mm-hmm.
They updated there's now a 2025 version of it, and man, if you were to have actually watched that video now, you would think that this is just years of perfection, but it's only been 2 years, and it looks super realistic. I watched it. It was like he was actually eating spaghetti. It looked like an actual video of Will Smith actually eating spaghetti. He was also drinking, I would think, like orange juice or something. And it all looked kind of realistic. I mean, there was actually one part where he was actually eating a burger, and it was like there was a little bit of an error right there, but overall, it looked realistic, and it just obviously like sent chills down my spine due to the fact that man, we are cooked for real. And it's not even just street interviews. There was also this one about the car dealership. I don't know what it was actually called, but yeah, it was. Aside from a couple of little EDB details, it looks like some real car showcase type videos that you actually see. And the scariest thing about it is that nowadays, Hollywood especially, is going to probably use AI to actually generate an entire movie. And no one's going to really know it was entirely AI generated. It's probably going to actually be developed in less than like a year or so. Look, the technology of what we have right now is evolving and it's actually getting better, but it's getting better too fast, too quick, to the point where now people are actually using AI related tools like Google Gemini and most famously, uh, man, I forgot the name.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, Chat GPT. And people are now using those to actually really type in full prompts or actually really get like some full search results. You know, our mother is actually really fully using Chat GPT. And it's like the technology, it's like it's just way too well. And now you can actually just pass it off. And artists are doing the exact same thing. Like, you know, why spend time drawing a piece of art where you can actually just type in a prompt and it just displays some art? Some actual AI art. And to me, that's just crazy. Like, for real. Robots, like, the bots, or the AI bots, are now fully capable of actually producing this type of content. It's like, it now gears back towards that SpongeBob episode. Robots are truly taking over the world. And I know for a fact that I'm actually really sounding crazy when I say this, but
Yeah. You are.
It's the I do sound crazy, but it's the reality. In every single comment I'm actually reading when I actually view these shorts on YouTube, it's like we are cooked. We are cooked, and it's the truth. It's the honest truth. The AI is taking over everything. You would think that it was like AI would take over some aspects, but now that AI is not proving itself to actually produce this type of content, it's taking our jobs, take out for our living, and now is it going to be actually replacing YouTubers? There's now AI generated gameplay videos and AI generated streamers. You type in AI generated streamer on YouTube, sure enough, you're probably going to get a result. And it looks realistic. I mean, they don't blink. I mean, there's one that looks like he's high on crack with how wide his eyes are. But still, it's probably, you could probably actually wait like 5 to 10 months. Sure enough, you could probably actually just pass off a streamer, an AI streamer, as a real streamer. No one will know. And you know what's now going to be crazy? It's not going to be far fetched now to have podcasts with AI controlling
Oh,
everything.
now wait a second. Now they're taking our jobs. Now it's
Yes.
personal.
Oh no.
I
Yes,
was
it's
okay with it
getting
with
to that
this when it was
point.
other people's jobs, but not this job.
Oh my god.
Not these two
Yes.
jobs right here. Well, now I'm
Hmm.
interested.
Yep. Now it's scary. Now this is actually starting becoming real.
It's hitting too
It's
close to
becoming.
home.
Yep. It's becoming a reality, and it's scary. And it's fast. It's development. Development is way too fast. And and now we can't have like an AI generated voices of ourselves. There's a site called Character AI. Basically, Character AI is you can actually talk to anybody, whether it'll be like a cartoon character or an actual real life person or like a celebrity with their voices. Obviously, the voices are it's the AI's interpretation of a voice, and I have dabbled into it before. Obviously, it's still in its infant stages, in my opinion, because the voices are kind of messed up on the real life people. But what's also crazy is that you can also have your own voice on the site. And I have done that. It's not perfect. There are some quirks. But the fact that I can actually have a fully conversation with an AI bot and they can respond to what I'm saying and actually respond to the scenarios that I'm actually putting through talking is also crazy and also scary and also towards the future. But probably like around 10 years or so, AI will just be taking over the world. Actually, you know what? I'm probably generous about 10 years. Probably another 2 years or so, we're probably going to get another update over Will Smith eating spaghetti. And it's going to be the most realistic thing you have ever seen. Perfect to a point where you actually think you are watching a video of Will Smith eating spaghetti.
Okay.
Yes,
And
I
you're
know.
concerned about this future?
Yes, AI is taking our jobs. That's the point.
I don't know, Ricky. This kind of sounds like the last segment when you were just being a boomer.
I'm not. I'm not. No. Okay. Look, the whole physical games debate. Yes, that could be the case. But I have physical proof about AI now. Look. I don't know where my tinfoil hat is, but if I know where it is, I will actually put it on right now. This is the future right now. Those of you who are actually watching this in like 10 years into the future, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. They are taking our jobs, and soon they're probably going to take us over. We're going to lose our jobs. I don't know what else to say other than for the fact that it's a scary, scary future that we have right now. I mean, it's already scary enough with World War III scares, but now we have AI scares now. And right now, we could probably actually have some. And people are going to actually be using these tools for probably nefarious things, like even framing other people for crimes they haven't really committed. You can actually generate a video that looks realistic, or actually saying some stuff that is very borderline illegal because with the right amount of tools, you can make the bot sound like the actual person. Probably actually sparks some very warlike things. Probably make the president say some outlandish stuff.
Yeah, he does that on his
Even
own.
like, I mean, yeah, he does. Yeah, I know. I actually no, I admit that. Yeah, but still, you give this tool to the wrong person, they could do some very nefarious things, and it doesn't sound like a very good future. It just kind of sounds like some dystopian type of future. This is something I actually really envisioned that will actually happen, and like I don't know, at the very least, like the 2100s. We're we're not even halfway through the 2000s era, and yet this technology is already getting better and it's faster. It's a fast progression.
I'm not really
And
seeing
yeah,
the problem, Ricky.
what you don't see a problem?
No.
How?
You sound like you're stuck in the past.
No.
We have to embrace our future. This is what it is. Like, yes, we're every single day we incorporate a little bit more technology into our lives. And that's just the reality of it. People are going to use chat bots, large language models to write certain things like emails and whatever, what have you, kind of things. And people may even, filmmakers may use AI to generate images and audio or visual mediums and incorporate them into film and into television. Um, so I think we just have to embrace it. And the reality of it is that it's really not taking jobs, it's more like replacing them. Because how about we think about it this way? Somebody's got to work, like, you know what generative AI is? It still needs giant supercomputers to work. Like there's giant like warehouses just full of um hard drives. Like, you know, when you save stuff to the cloud, it's not just up in the
Yeah.
air. Like, it goes to a physical location that's somewhere on Earth. And these places need to be run and maintained, and the computers need to be updated. And like, there's all this, though. Really, it's created a lot of jobs as well. Like, all the technological advances, as much as it seems like it's taking jobs. I mean, think about this. Like, people thought that um using apps were, like ordering food, that seems like that's taking jobs from cashiers, right? Because you don't go up to a cashier at the McDonald's and order food anymore. You probably use the
Yeah.
McDonald's app or you used Uber Eats. But like, someone still has to make the food. That doesn't mean that nobody wants food anymore. Like, someone that, like, it's in a
No.
different place. Someone still has to
Yeah.
make the
Yeah.
food, someone still has to deliver the food or hand the food to the customer. So it's like, it feels like the jobs are shifting, not disappearing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do
It's
hear
like
you on that.
we've put them in a different spot. Or like how we were
Yes.
saying about the GameStops closing. Does that mean that, and that's the case for a lot of brick and mortar stores, right?
Yes.
There's a lot of brick and mortar that's going away. Malls are going away. Does that mean that no one shops anymore? Or
No.
that like the jobs are still there. Like the consumer market has just shifted towards online shopping, which means that we do still need jobs. We need people to work in these warehouses. We need people to work drive the delivery trucks and drop off all this merchandise. People are shopping now more than ever. It just seems like they're not, because the jobs have shifted. Like cashiers lost their jobs, but in doing so, we've gained jobs as far as manufacturing, shipping, warehouse, that all that kind of stuff. So I think when you're talking about AI and it's taking jobs, I think, and I can't say this for sure, and I don't I'll obviously I don't know what's going on or what's going to happen. I'm living today, July 6th, 2025. So I don't know what's going to happen, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that the jobs are going to shift again. I think there's always going to be a need for humans in the workforce. It's going to look different.
Okay. Mm.
Does that make you less afraid, Ricky?
I mean, on the job aspect, yeah, but hmm, I don't know. I think maybe it's just kind of getting like overwhelming, like how fast it's actually growing. I guess that's just the one thing I'm actually overwhelmed with. And again, I've really went down this AI rabbit hole way too deep. Which, if you actually really haven't, it'll make you actually question to yourself: Is this real or is this AI?
Yeah.
And yeah, some videos are like that.
I
I
think
guess
that
it's what people are
that's
afraid of.
that's really a big concern. I think, but I think that also a big issue is that it takes so long to make laws. I think eventually there's going to be laws around content creation when it comes to using AI and profiting from content you created using some type of generative AI. And it's just gonna take way too long. Like by the time we get there, it's gonna be so bad because it takes forever to pass legislation. So, like, I think there's going to be a lot of what in the future we'll consider crimes happening right up front, like using the video thing that you were talking about from Google to create a video of, say, someone saying something that they wouldn't say. Like, let's say it's
Yeah.
someone that you used to know, maybe an ex or something, they make a video of you saying something anti-Semitic and you didn't say it, and they just put that out, like something like that. I think that that's going to become a crime, or like some you doing like some type of lewd act, some type of weird sex thing, or something like something weird. I think that
Yeah.
stuff like you can do that today and that's not a crime, but I think that in the future that kind of behavior is going to become illegal. It's just going to take so long for lawmakers to get there. So I think that's the trouble with AI. What people can do now that will become crimes later, but like it's not today.
Yeah.
That's the part. It's humans still though. My concern is still with humans. I'm not scared of AI at all as far as my safety or whatever, or taking the jobs. I'm not concerned. I'm concerned about what people are going to do. That's what scares me always.
Yeah. That's another. That is one thing I'm actually thinking about. And I actually, you know what? I just actually realized. I remember this. You ever heard of Duolingo? Duolingo?
Oh, the language learning.
Yeah, it was so big. It was like the
Yeah.
biggest one. Well, now, if we're gonna actually go back to the whole job thing, recently, months ago, they've actually released a tweet saying how they actually laid off a bunch of their workers,
Mhm.
and they're all gonna actually be replaced with AI. You mean you heard that?
No, I've not heard that.
that was just the thing I actually had a problem with jobs. I just kind of remember that they're suffering a backlash right now because of it. It's like now bots are going to be taking over the whole language learning app, and that's I guess that kind of correlates with the whole job loss thing.
Yeah, but
So,
I mean the thing is, yeah, so maybe we don't need, I don't know what the exact jobs were that they cut at Duolingo, but maybe that just means okay, that type of position is no longer needed because we have this technology that can do it. But that means that something else opened up that maybe those workers were able to go to. I mean, you think about it, like what else can we do? When you think about it, like cars being invented made the horse salesman lose his job, right? But does that mean we
yes.
shouldn't drive cars and we should just keep riding horses so that the horse salesman stays in business? No, like we have to
Hmm.
move forward. I think that that's just what it is, and that there's gonna be some costs. People are gonna lose their jobs. That's always happened, though. I mean, if you
Yeah, it
think way
has.
way back to the times, like every single invention has made something else obsolete. But does that mean that we shouldn't invent new things? I don't think so. I mean, the
Okay.
light bulb made the lantern salesman lose his job. But should we just go around with lanterns and a candle? I sure don't want
Nah.
to. I don't want to
No.
light a lantern every night. I'm going to use light bulbs. So I think we can't be afraid of inventing things and progressing with technology just to preserve today's jobs. Because
Yep.
then we'll never progress. If we're always trying to keep everybody in business today, we would never progress.
Okay, I definitely see you on that. And now the tinfoil hat comes off.
Don't you love the tinfoil? I love the tinfoil hat though. I love talking conspiracy. I just don't. I'm definitely like I'm a huge conspiracy theorist. I'll listen to whatever theory you have. It's just
Yeah.
AI. I don't know, man. It's just that's one that doesn't concern me. But if you want to talk about assassinations or aliens or sleeper agents, and any kind of the government experiments, that's where I'm
Oh,
fully with you in a conspiracy. But this one,
okay.
I don't know, Ricky. I'm really not concerned about it. I guess.
No, no. Yeah, for me, I don't even use Chat GPT. I don't use any like Google Gemini. I mean, I used it once to see what it is, but it's like, nah, I'm just not really with it.
I used to use it when I was in college, my last year, um, in school, which was last year. I graduated last May. I did use ChatGPT sometimes just to give me some ideas. Like I wouldn't just copy it, but I would like type in whatever the prompt was for a paper, and then it kind of gave me some idea. Like that's how I got a starting point. You know, when you're looking at that blank sheet,
Yes.
trying to do a homework assignment and you type in your name and that's it, and it's like, okay, where do I go from here? ChatGPT used to really like get my juices flowing, Like it would give me some ideas. I put that prompt in it and it would spit out something. And then I'd be like, "Oh, yeah, I can talk about this." And then like that's when I was able it really helped me generate my own ideas. That
Okay.
like, the writer's block can really get in the way sometimes. So like that's what I think
Yeah.
it's a big benefit. I don't think that you should just copy paste, put your name on it, turn it in. But I think that it is a great tool to really help you learn. in order to give you some new ideas. Oh, I can go research that. I can find a source that backs up this statement that ChatGPT gave me, and I can rewrite it in my own words. And yeah, now homework is done faster.
Okay.
So I
All right.
I think it's a great thing if we use it correctly. I really do.
All right. I guess that kind of wraps this segment up.
Yep. And that concludes our show for this episode of Take It With a Grain of Sand. Thank you so much for listening. And remember to always take it with a grain of sand.